In this video, I'll be checking out the Spedal portable CarPlay display. If you're looking for an easy way to get Android OS apps as well as CarPlay and Android Auto in any car, this might be a solution for you. This is their AL851. It's their 10-inch portable display. It's the second CarPlay display that I've reviewed that has a full Android operating system, which allows you to use applications such as Netflix, YouTube, as well as other Android apps directly on the device itself. It's a standalone platform. You don't actually have to integrate it with your car other than using your radio or car system for audio output. It has 4GB of RAM, 64GB of storage. It runs on the Android 14 platform. So there's a lot to like here. Let's check out what comes inside the box. Okay, so here's what you get inside the box. You get a paper instruction manual to tell you how to put everything all together and get it up and running. You get the portable CarPlay display itself. There is a 12-volt adapter to USB-C to power the display, and you've got a USB-A pass-through, which is 1 amps, which will probably triple charge your phone should you need to power your phone at the same time. You get quite a lengthy, I'd say probably 1 meter aux auxiliary cable for auxiliary audio, and then finally you get the 1 bracket option. There's no windscreen mount comes supplied here. You just get a quite flexible dashboard mount to mount this directly onto your dashboard of the car. Finally, it comes bundled with a rear facing camera, which you can channel all the way through the car. And it looks like it needs a splicing cable to function. We'll see if that needs actual power to view it a little bit later. Okay, so looking over the display then, we have a cover which we'll take off to reveal the glossy display. Now this is a 10-inch or 10.26-inch diagonal display. Quite wide, quite bulky, but at least it has a small height profile should you be mounting this on your dashboard, and to have enough room to view over the top of it without it blocking, which a lot of 4x3 screens do. So a thin landscape is more preferred. It's quite thin on its profile, which is quite nice to see. It's not that kind of chunky. It's been quite well made. Nothing on the left-hand side of the display at the back. Classic mounting section here with a speaker grill for the speaker output. And on the right-hand side here, you've got some I/O ports here. You've got USB-C to power the display. Then you've got an AV input port for the rear view camera. Then there's a TF slot for expanded storage. And then at the bottom here, we've got the auxiliary interface there for audio output over a wide connection. On the top here, we've got a power switch to power the display on and off. Some cooling there, vertical cooling for the heat to dissipate out of. And over on the bottom, you've got some intake holes there for cooling as well. It's a nice thin display. You can see there it's got a nice profile, and generally it's quite good, hopefully. There's a slight bezel around the outside, a little bit thicker on the sides than it is at the top and bottom. But other than that, and my fingerprints, it's a nice design. So let's get this plugged in and get this powered up. Well, we've got our connector here. We've got a 12-volt conversion cable into the mains. So we're going to connect this in now and see how quickly it takes to boot up. Connecting now. Now, so that's around about 27 seconds into boot, which is quite lengthy, but you've got to consider it is booting an Android platform, so it's almost like a tablet booting up as well. We've got a language select here from these available languages, so quite a big, vast selection there. Keeps on going. Got to select our region, safety instructions, and now we're into the menu interface. Very similar to the Android AI box adapters user interface. Obviously this is a thing that we're going to start seeing now, which is no bad thing. We've got a dock on the side here, located on the left for now. We've got a music panel, 4 shortcuts at the bottom here, CarPlay, Android Auto, YouTube and Netflix. There's 2 installed apps. On here we've got another selection of apps which you can scroll through. That will grow with additional apps that you move about. You should be able to move these. No, it doesn't look like you can. Clean up to lose up memory. Again, we've seen Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, music. VLC for TF media playback. Settings, audio settings to switch between Bluetooth, auxiliary, etc. Help center if you have any issues. Then you've got some other bog standard Android OS applications there as well as the App Store. Now I'm not seeing Google Play Store, so we are limited on the applications that you can actually install on this device. Obviously we need to get this connected to an internet to view that. You can see here we've got the floating button of doom, which you don't really need, I think, because you've got back and home. But you've got options for split screen mode, which is quite nice. And also this is dual Wi-Fi, so that will allow you to run CarPlay and Android Auto on one Wi-Fi connection. And if you've got a separate source of Wi-Fi, such as a hotspot from another phone or your car Wi-Fi, if it has one, you can run Android apps along the side it as well. So you can have like Netflix and YouTube running alongside CarPlay and Android Auto. So that's quite cool and very handy. So back to full screen mode here. Quick launch home. Change the volume, change the brightness, and that's it. You've got mute as well, and also you've got a built-in back button there too. Again, shortcut to split screen mode, and also a button to go back. Here you've got options to go straight into CarPlay and Android Auto. Let's get this connected to the internet first and see what applications you can also install onto it. So in the settings, we've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, transmit to Bluetooth for car audio as well. Use your bog standard Android OS based settings, which has been slightly trimmed. You got system updates and so on. You can change the summertime and timestamps. Storage at the moment, this comes with 64 gigabytes of storage, which is plenty. You shouldn't really be touching that TF card unless you want to offload that content from a TF card onto the internal storage for ease of use as well. And that's pretty much it. So let's just jump into Wi-Fi, turn Wi-Fi on. Right, that's us connected to the Wi-Fi. We're now connected. We'll just jump home. And now we can go into the Play Store. And there we have it. So we've got some of the pre-installed apps, but you can bring in Disney Plus, Prime Video, Spotify. We'll download that as well. And we've got Prime Video, so we'll download that too. Also, you can do an update. And that's unfortunately the applications that you can run. So you can't run every single application from the Play Store, just the applications that they're willing to allow on this platform instead, which is mostly video streaming apps really, as well as Spotify. Brightness is currently at 50%, and that will go up to 400% there. It's a little bit more readable, but for the camera purposes, I'll just bring that down to about 3/4. Now that we're online, we can go to YouTube. You can see it's got a very mobile centric DPI, so it's quite awkward to scroll through the types of content here. We can try out a video. In this video, I'll be checking out a new wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto adapter from Quadlock. This is now using the internal speaker. Nice and sharp. Obviously, it's not going to go full width widescreen because that's not the format of this video, but it looks the part, works well, nice and sharp. Audio's in sync, at least on the speaker, but we'll check that in the car using the other source methods later on in this video. But that's YouTube. We can see if we can return back and have it playing in the background. No, it will cut out. Let's try out Netflix. Again, the CPU in this display is obviously a lot lower than say some AI boxes, your mobile phone or your tablet. So the quality of the speed of the experience is going to be a little bit hit on these kind of displays at this kind of price range. Again, quite a sort of mobile-like experience. Scrolling is a little bit as it loads in this kind of content. So we'll try out a video and also increase the volume as well.
The overtake on Valtteri created this spark and this tension between the two of us. That was committed, it was brave, it was brilliant! So I thought, you know what?
Okay, sounds good, nice and sharp, lips in sync as well. That's the maximum volume as well, which is okay. No bass whatsoever, that's expected. Obviously it's one single speaker, so you're not going to get stereo from this display speaker either. You'll need that in your car to get that full stereo experience. As you've seen here, we've got a shortcut to nip between two opened apps, which is quite nice. Can't really turn that off and it stays on screen. It doesn't actually disappear. So that's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. So let's go home. That is Netflix. Now, other apps are going to perform pretty much exactly the same. And basically, they're all going to perform just as well. We've got our SD card inserted on the back of the display there. And we're now into VLC. We can try out some of the video content. We're going to try 4K 30. As expected, it's not really going to support it that well because of the lower hardware inside. You can see it's not really moving. So I'd say 4K 30 is out of the question. 4K 60 is definitely out of the question too. But you're not really going to be playing 4K content on here. But if you've got those files already, then you're not going to be able to watch them. We'll try a standard 1080p trailer.
is inevitable. One must destroy in order to create. We are no Jedi.
Alright, that sounds good. You can see that you've got different aspect modes, so you can actually get it almost full screen onto the display when you've got watching a movie. And it's nice and sync, sounds good as well. And again, we'll try out that in the car later on in this video. Okay, that's Spotify installed. We can now run it from the App Store as well. Right, and that's us into finally Spotify. So I'd say for an 8-core processor, it is struggling a little bit. It's quite sluggish. I would personally use Spotify from the phone. It's going to be a lot quicker. But if you want a standalone experience, you can at least run Spotify off this display. So over in the settings section, you can also set the display sidebar if you're on a right-hand drive car. Floating box, you can have a dot or this, and it does go away. Nope. Doesn't go away, so unfortunately you can't actually turn that off. So that's that. We're going to plug in the camera just to see if it actually can get connected without using that connection. So the camera's connected, but unfortunately there's no actual app to actually trigger and view that camera. It's only going to work when you actually go into reverse, and then it uses the loop through cable into your reverse light of your car, and then it will trigger the rear view camera on that display full screen. So it's only going to work in reverse. You can't use it as a rear camera, and you will have to splice that cable in, unfortunately. Right, continue on. We can just see how split screen mode works. We can choose, for example, that's always got to load up CarPlay or Android Auto. So that's the only means you can't run another app. And here you can then run things like YouTube on the side. That's going to load up YouTube, but you can then play any particular content.
And also, if you have a more modern...
And then have CarPlay or Android Auto running on the right with something like navigation, for example. There's no 60-40 or anything like that. It's just 50-50, unfortunately. So here we go back to full screen. CarPlay and Android Auto we'll test in the car along with the audio options. So let's jump in the car now, get this thing mounted and see how well it performs in the car. So I'll see you there. Right, so today we're recording in the Vauxhall Astra. It hasn't remotely got any form of CarPlay in the car itself. So via this display from Spedal, we'll be checking it out, giving it CarPlay or Android Auto and going through its various audio options that's available to it. So we've got our Spedal AL851 and here we have the Astra 2013 dash. We've got a nice ledge here that we can put this display onto, and that will fix on its display very, very, very well. There is slight swivel to the base as well, so you can actually fix it down square and actually mount that display actually towards you, but you are hitting the sides here, so it's a bit restrictive. Alternatively, we can actually mount it on the very top of the display, and there is a slight curve to this top part of the dash, so you will find that you will have to utilize the bendy nature of that mount to get a full adhesion to the actual dashboard itself. We're going to go with down here because it's nice and easy for you, and occasionally I'm going to refer to any systems that are on the main display. Obviously we're blocking the display here, so ideally you want to mount it something where it's a bit more less restrictive to the existing car entertainment system. But if you know your way around it by heart, then go for it and mount it down into something a little bit more intrusive and a little bit away from that dashboard, because it does allow me to view the whole entire dashboard and it's out of your way, and that would have been my preference. Panning down, we've got the cigarette lighter or 12-volt adapter at the bottom here. We're going to be plugging that into the supplied cable, so we're going to plug that into that section here. You've got a nice adapter to power a secondary device or your actual main device that you're using CarPlay for wirelessly. Astra also got an auxiliary input port, so we're going to be using that in a minute to give it a wide audio connection. At the other end, we've got a USB-C cable input there. We can stow this cable in the rest of the cubby hole so it's nice and out the way. And then we can channel it up and onto the display itself. We're going to plug it into the display and then we're going to just mount it up here for now. We're going to position the display onto that surface there, so we're all good to go. So that's pretty much the install really. You just need to connect the power source, mount the display on a suitable location in your car, and then you're good to go. We're going to start the car and get this powered up. And that's it all nicely powered up there, very quickly actually than before. As we've seen in the studio, we've positioned everything to our right hand side driver position. So we're going to select CarPlay. We've got some settings here that we can see. We've got automatic connect. We're going to do right rudder, which overrides it. And we're going to do time sync as well. That updates the actual car. At the moment it's 453, which is correct at the moment. It's running the latest version. The resolution, 1920 by 720. So we're going to look for the Bluetooth ID. Here it is here. So we're going to connect, pair, Wi-Fi kicks in, and there we are into wireless Apple CarPlay. And now that's connected to our phone there. We can put that down, back pocket or so on. And now that you've paired with the system, it's not going to need that Bluetooth connection ever again. You could just get in the car and it's going to connect as soon as you start the display up. It's going to connect wirelessly to your iPhone. But now we're into the display here now, and the glass has a slight friction to it, just like normal glass does. Some displays are a little bit more silky with your fingerprint interaction, but that's not the case here. Right, so we can go home and we can just try out the interaction, which is very, very good. This little widget thing does get in the way, and the apps is a little bit washed out, if I'm honest, but that's just the display field of view. I think it is an IPS display, so the horizontal is actually not that bad, but if I start tilting it away, it really does suffer with brightness in terms of its viewing angles. So width wise it's not too bad, but vertical it is a bit of a concern. So that's CarPlay. We can just try out some audio, which is basically going to play over the car speaker. So here we maxed out the volume on the internal speaker. Oddly, I've never seen this before, I can't get to my now playing screen, which is mad. So that's the audio from the internal speaker. Now it's time to pick up the auxiliary cable. Obviously, this is a wired audio solution, which means it's going to be an extra wire on the actual installation. And then up here, we've got auxiliary on the car stereo, which we're going to press, and we're going to insert that now. So if we play this music back again, oddly, it's coming out the speaker on this as well as FM. So we're going to go to home, go to audio settings, we're going to switch that to aux. That now comes out. So it's now coming just from the car speakers. Now the stereo in this Astra is not amazing in terms of its treble, so it's a little bit muddy. But I'm not getting any interference. If I just pause this, I'm not getting any hissing, which is positive. And just generally, that's acceptable. The screen's a little bit laggy, and I'm getting quite a few mishits, unfortunately. There we go. So I restarted Spotify, worked. So let's try the touch input. Obviously wheel controls won't work through auxiliary, but in Bluetooth it will. And you've got syncing as well. So that's good. And just generally the audio sounds fairly alright. So that's audio on auxiliary. We're going to go back now. See, I just tapped that once and it's done a double hit for Siri, which is a little bit awkward. We're going to go back to the home screen. We are still connected to Wi-Fi, so we can, whilst we've got auxiliary connected. So here we are on YouTube. We can test out some AV sync. So this is AV sync over auxiliary. It's not too bad, so I'll be happy with that. I've covered many wireless Apple CarPlay dongles on this channel, and a popular question I always get is, what is the best wireless CarPlay dongle? So hopefully... So that's good. Lip sync is actually not too bad, actually. So that's YouTube over auxiliary. Netflix is going to be pretty much the same. Let's just try Netflix.
The overtake on Vauxhall created this spark and this tension between the two of us. That was committed, it was brave, it was brilliant! So I thought, you know what,
Okay,
we're gonna...
that sounds good. Nice and stereo as well on the car system. Happy with that. Lip sync is good too. Let's quickly try VLC.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to create. We are no Jedi.
Sounds good. Oh, nice and sync as well. I did notice that I've got the brightness very, very low, so let's get that back up. But that looks and plays really, really well. Happy with that. So that's auxiliary in a nutshell. We're going to come out of this auxiliary now. Right, so we're going to try out FM audio, and that's basically FM transmission, which uses the car radio FM radio to receive the transmitted audio from the display. So this is basically a nice way to do wireless audio if you haven't got Bluetooth in your car. So we do that by simply going to the radio station on the car. We've got the display here so I can show you what the radio is actually doing. We go to FM and then we tune into 107.4. So we're going to go into here. We can nice and smoothly go to 107.4 on the display. So that's all locked in for 107.4. And now we're going to dive that back down, turn up the volume. There's not much hiss, which is really good. The cable's coiled as well, which is actually normally a trait of when you do get that hiss. Back into CarPlay and play some audio.
Well, here we are, back on the hot, muggy streets of New York.
Okay, so quite a high bit of bass. So we're going to reduce the volume. We can't. Can we mute it? No, we can't. So it's a little bit bassy. And the Astra audio is really sensitive. You can see I'm on volume 1, and it's not very nice. Right, so I've opened up the coil. Audio hasn't really changed much. Yeah, I wouldn't like that personally. And it's a common trait on quite a few of these displays. Just a little bit too bassy. We'll just drop into YouTube just to see what the differences are. So this is the audio sync for YouTube over FM. Not too bad actually. I'll be happy with that, but you can hear the slight hiss through FM, which is a bit unfortunate, mostly because I've got the audio quite high on this car system. Okay, so whilst we're connected to FM, let's try out Android Auto. And over on our Android device, we've got our Bluetooth here, so we're going to tap that to pair. And that's us into Android Auto. Audio's not perfect. It is stuttering a bit, and it does feel that if I go into maps. A bit more laggy for Android Auto, unfortunately. It really is struggling a bit. Let's try audio again. And this is coming off a Samsung S22, so it's definitely got the power, but it seems to be struggling with the Bluetooth connection. Again, we've got the bass issue that we had with CarPlay, so it's just not platform specific, it's just something to do with the FM transmission. So we're going to switch back to auxiliary. It's much better on auxiliary. So yeah, happy with that. Google Maps is not too bad. It is a little bit laggish on the touch input, but I think that might be a trait of the display input, which might be a little bit of a concern. But the display's not too bad though. It looks good, it's not washed out, and I'll be just generally happy with that. I think it's not the best, but it is obviously got to consider the price that we're paying for on this display. Let's try call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's jump into CarPlay and just do an audio test on CarPlay. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Philip. Okay, a little bit less delay there on CarPlay. Okay, so that's all I can show you in this car specifically. Let's jump in the Born now and let's have a look at how Bluetooth works. Right, so in the Cupra Born to demo the Bluetooth audio on the Spedal display. Now I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you a different way to mount the display if your car is a little bit different, or if you wish to mount the display a little bit lower down. Now it does involve you buying a few additional accessories. So for this I've got a mount from a different display, but you can buy this bracket separately on places like Amazon. Then you've got another bracket for a vent mount specifically. This is from a mount that I bought for review a few months ago, and it's just a standard ball socket, which is roughly about 17mm in its diameter. So these fit in with these brackets here. Make sure that they both match, and then basically we'll attach this to our vent, and then this part goes into the standard bracket on the back of the display. So that's the display mounted below our main display here, currently turned on right now, showing it CarPlay. Now this is a vehicle that doesn't have a 12-volt adapter, so everything's against us right now. So we're going to show you what you can do in terms of powering the display alternatively as well. Now it did have a USB-C connector to 12 volt. We don't actually have that. It's in the boot of the car and that's not practical. So if your vehicle is very similar, we can try a USB-C to USB-C. So for that we need to connect the USB-C end to the display, and the other end can go into any particular 12 volt USB adapter ideally. But if your car has a USB input port, it's probably only going to be 5 watts, very low generally to power the display. So I do recommend you using something like a USB 12 volt adapter. Ideally a USB-C one, it's going to get more power delivery. My car does have a USB-C input port, so we're going to plug it into that and hope it powers the display up. Now if it doesn't, it could be potentially the cable that's not compatible with the display. We're going to go to a cable that came with my Cupra, and we're on straight away. So it just shows you need the right cabling. Well, so we've added the cable and it's powered the display up nice and quickly. But just to show, you can use a USB-C cable with a dedicated power source, just like a 12 volt adapter, or in my case, a 35 watt, I think it is, USB-C port in the car. So as you can see, the display is up and running. Whilst we're here, let's try our FM and see what the quality like is in a different vehicle. Yeah. And we're not even using the official power cable, which probably acts as an antenna to most displays. So do factor that in as well. But the bass is not doing it right on FM on another car as well. So FM's not a good audio source, I think, personally. So we're going to come out of here, go back into audio settings, and let's go into do Bluetooth. Now you can hear the hiss where it's lost the transmission for that. Now I'm going to go into media on our car display. This could be your Bluetooth settings, for example, in your car system. And then we go into Bluetooth, and then we're going to go search for available devices. We've found it. That's the display down below. Now down here it wants us to pair, so we're going to pair, and then we've got a warning on our car display. And already, if I turn the volume up, we've got a nice, smooth, accurate, good quality audio wirelessly coming from the display to my car speakers over Bluetooth. Now going back to, so we're playing, if you're going to the player here, you can see that we're now interacting with the car system. You can see down here we're connected to the car system here. If we go into CarPlay and on my now playing screen, if I interact with this, it's going to interact with the screen down below with a little bit of delay in the audio. So we're interacting with the car stereo and it's adjusting the car display. Now what that means, if we pan and use my wheel controls up here, I'm going to tap it, and that will now control the display and my phone, whilst also changing the tracks on the car display here. So imagine your car stereo has Bluetooth and it has wheel controls. You'll be able to adjust not only the volume, you can do that anyway, even with just a radio, but if you've got Bluetooth or media controls on your wheel, it will interact with the display as long as you're connected over Bluetooth. So Bluetooth sounds good. We can it's got some not too bad audio lag, and we can try that out in YouTube. So let's just jump into YouTube again. So the audio is very late, or the video is very late, which is a little bit not great, specifically when watching videos. So that is a bit of a detriment. We've seen that the FM and auxiliary actually is okay, and obviously the onboard speaker will be good too. But over Bluetooth, there is a bit of a lag. It's all over the place, unfortunately. Let's just try. Oh, there's a problem there. I've encountered that twice now. I've covered many wireless Apple CarPlay dongles on this channel, and a popular question I always get is, what is the best wireless CarPlay dongle, and which one is the most overall best value for your money? And there we go again. It's a bit of an issue with YouTube here on this car screen. We can try out Netflix.
The overtake on Valtteri created this spark and this tension between the two of us. That was committed, it was brave, it was brilliant! I thought, you know what?
Okay, as you can see there, the lip sync is actually not that great. It's quite behind, and you got stereo, it sounded great, but I wouldn't like to watch anything on this display, at least over Bluetooth. Let's do a quick call. Hello? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quality's not brilliant, if I'm honest. I think it did obviously use my car mic, but it's not the best experience, let's put it that way. So the Spedal AL851 currently retails for $169.99. Currently it's got a $35 coupon off, so that'll make it $134.99. I'll leave links to the Amazon page to learn more about this display, support the channel, and buy yourself one. Personally, it's not the most groundbreaking display. It has a very nice form factor, but it is a simple case of you get what you pay for here. Unfortunately, the Android apps don't work so well over Bluetooth in terms of its AV sync, so that is an issue. If you're not going to be using Bluetooth, then the quality and experience is going to be a little bit better. However, we've seen in 2 cars that the FM transmission did struggle with the car audio, and there's quite high bass and quite some distortion as well, so that is an issue too. So overall, if you plan on using auxiliary wired connection, then that's probably the best experience for everything, both in audio sync as well, and you can then connect it to 2 separate Wi-Fi sources to have Android Auto and CarPlay working alongside the Android apps that come pre-built. There is another issue that the apps are only coming with pre-built apps. You can't go to the Google Play Store and download any application and run it on this display. It is quite a closed platform in terms of the apps that you can actually install onto it. So do bear that in mind versus other displays that might have that opportunity. But even with its hardware, it did perform a little bit sluggish, and we also saw that on Android Auto as well. It was a little bit sluggish too. So personally, I think there are better options out there, but if any of these features are pressing your buttons and you'd like to learn more, then check out my link to learn more about this display and support the channel and buy one. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, give us a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the Spedal AL851, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you like this content and you'd like to support my channel, you can do so by sending us a super thanks on YouTube. Hit that hype button if you also find this helpful, and you can check out my QR code up here to buy me a coffee, and you can support me there too. I really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.